Alright, so when it comes to the front door, we want to make sure that our dogs have good manners and are going to stay safe by not running out the front door when not invited. So even if your leash is on, you need to be practicing this, because when it comes time to not have the leash on, the dog needs to know the rules that apply to this door. So there's manners and safety. Good girl. So when I go to put my hand on the handle, if the dog goes to push at the door, like we're at the door frame, then I just take my hand away. And I might use a little bit of leash pressure in the beginning to back the dog up, to teach them where I want them to be, but they're not allowed to push their way out the door. It's rude. We wouldn't allow it from another human. We would teach our kids not to push like that. If another adult did that, we would ask them what they were doing or be, you know, insulted by it, offended by it. So we want to make sure that our dogs have good manners and they stay safe. So when I go to open the door, if she goes to push out, I close it again. So see how she's pushing to get this door open? We open and close it, and she's quite pushy, so I give a little tug to bring her back. Good girl, yes. So if you don't have a storm door, you would use that before you get out the door. So I should be able to keep my door open with the dog not pushing their way out. But because I have a storm door, this will look a little different than if I didn't. So she's at the front again. She's ready to push her way out. Let's see what she does here. So she went to go out the door, and I just held the handle and closed it. Now my goal is that I can keep it open. Good girl. And yes. And she doesn't go out. Okay. Good girl. Okay, come on in. So what I waited for there was the door was wide open. She gave me eye contact, and I said, okay, to let her know she can go out. Now, we don't want the dog thinking that you going out the door is the invitation. We want the word okay or their name to be the invitation. So when I go to open the door, Coda, yes, good girl. Yes, I want to be able to do this. Nope. And I'll step into her space. Good girl. And I should be able to have the door wide open with me stepped out. Okay. Good girl. Yes. What a good puppy. Okay. Good girl. So the invitation is the word okay. I reward her, just praise her a little bit for making a good choice. And then the next step is that when I get out the door, I'm going to call her back to me so I can close the door behind me. So you can, you know, lock your door if you need to without having your dog trying to drag you out already when you're not ready to leave the front porch. So one more time from the beginning. Coda. Hi, yes, good girl. Yeah, so see how she didn't push to the door frame? If she did, I would just give her a little tug back and close the door again. Hand on the handle, she's not pushing. There's a garbage truck outside, so she's interested in that. Might not get her attention until the garbage truck leaves. So she tried to go out there, I closed it. Okay, now here, when she goes to the end, she didn't go to the end of the leash, but if she went to the end of the leash, hey, Coda, Coda, good girl. I could bring her in, Coda, sit, no, Coda, good girl. Ask her to sit and then close the door so I'm not being stretched out by the dog wanting to go down the steps or down the driveway. Coda, sit, no. Good girl. And then once you've said sit, make it happen. Like, she got up after I said sit, I just put her back. And I will slow it down so that I get this to look exactly the way I want it to be. Okay, sit. Girl. And you can make her sit and hold it. Okay, come on. So that is how you are gonna leave your house. All right, so here's another dog going out the door. This is Milos. I go to touch the door. Okay, he's not too pushy, but he is a bit close to the door, so I'm gonna probably back him up a bit, tell him where I would like him to be, away from the door a little bit. So I can use some spatial pressure and my leash to say, no, this is not an appropriate spot for you to be. You don't need to be right at the door. Now he's distracted by a dog in the house. So I go to open the door. If he goes to push, we close. That pushing does not get him out the door like he wants to. Milos. So here, I don't care if he sits. Something I didn't mention in the first video was that I don't give commands here. I want this to be a default behavior. I want the dog to understand that it doesn't matter if I tell you to sit, stay, wait, nothing like that. You have to abide by these rules around the door. It shouldn't be only because I told you to do it. That we want the dog to be in free behavior. Milos. He's a bit distracted. Lily's up there. So. Okay, so that's a bit better. He's not pushing. So here he's pushing. So we're gonna back him up a bit. Away from the door. Boy. No. So good boy is not the release. Good boy. And he's not calm here. So he's looking at me, but he's really not relaxed about the door being open. So I'm gonna wait. Okay. So here, I'm gonna bring him back. Milos, sit. Good boy. And then I would close the door. Okay.